poopy.
Totally poopy. It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce. I'm feeling poopy.
Excellent. And also, we have the Merman, who is part of the Kings of Leon crew, whatever that means.
The entourage, that's right.
So, you big fan of Kings of Leon?
Never heard of them.
You must have heard some of their music while you're moving their stuff around.
Nope. No music.
I kind of like Kings of Leon.
Did you go, like, after the cut? Like, I don't understand.
They don't let us in till the concert's over.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just stand there
outside?
outside?
Just sit outside. Yeah. It rained last week. They made us stand outside.
But you get paid to get rained on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Still.
I sometimes.
So did you meet the Kings of Leon? Did you meet the king?
Couldn't tell you. I had no idea who they are.
I guess there's more than one. Are they
Sure.
all kings?
Sure, they must be.
100%.
I didn't see anybody with a crown, so
All right.
I don't know. I got 3 hours sleep. Let's move on.
I kind of want to talk about the Kings of Leon.
No, it's not.
I kind of want to talk about getting rained on. I sometimes pay people to do that for me.
Well,
Yeah, that's a different sort of thing.
Oh.
yeah.
Really quite different, Jim.
Eh.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, I was going to say poopcast.
Well, you
subscribe.
covered one of the bodily functions earlier. You must cover the other
Starting
one.
off well.
Absolutely. Please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or support this Film Rage community and join our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYOC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible, terrible movie that played in cinemas anywhere in the world. And we'll watch it. We will. Absolutely. Now, let's get to raging. What the amazing merman predict? What the amazing merman predict? Will he predict the rage or will he predict the mondo? Will he tell us all what Jim and Bryce saw at the movies? Well, you know what, kids? Here he comes swimming to you.
Ooh, swimmery, swimmery. Swimmery, swimmery. Swimmery, swimmery. Swim, 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 swim.
Never have ever wanted to stop the recording button in my life.
You know, most of our listeners, it's their favorite segments.
I hate it so much. I have no idea how much I hate it. Yeah, so 4 movies. I actually saw 3 of them.
Yeah, you did.
Mostly because Bryce had better things to do.
That's right. Well, that's debatable, but, you know,
Other things to do then.
I wish I had those things to do.
I didn't have anything to do.
Hey, my mom's in town.
Exactly. I love your mom.
Gotta spend time with my mom.
I wish I could have gone.
She went
the
to
movies
she
with
went to
your mom.
3
There
movies
you
too,
go.
Merman.
I said,
You
like
could
I
have invited
said,
us.
We should have invited your mom on the podcast this week.
right.
I mean, how
Alright.
often does that happen?
Yeah, it could have happened, but there are extenuating circumstances that she's not here.
Is she here for another month? Because maybe we'll get her on next
I
week.
think she's here for like 3 or 4 months.
3
I don't
years?
know.
Here till
She
Christmas?
just- yeah, at least. I'm not
Nice.
sure.
There you go.
Perfect. All right. Well, what do we see, Mer?
Well, in order on here, we've got Afraid with a capital AI, as in afraid of AI, which is what I definitely am.
Capital A, F-R,
Yeah.
capital A, capital I, D.
But the capital is not usually in the middle of the word.
No.
That's where the emphasis was, on the AI.
The emphasis?
Emphasis on the syllable.
Right.
Yeah.
simpatico today?
This thing was a piece of crap. I'm pretty sure you both raged on it.
Oh, that's bold.
That's
Yeah,
super
well.
bold.
Oh well.
But didn't you hear us laughing?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
1992, or I believe it's called April 29th, 1992 or something. The full title is the actual date.
No, it's
I think
just
it's just
1992.
No, when I typed it in, it came up.
Okay, well, that might have been
under the date.
It might have been that title.
It was done 2 years ago.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
we had.
It was actually fairly recent.
Yeah, we had a little heist, a little Rodney King stuff, and a little bit of Die Hard. So
Yeah.
it didn't suck. I think maybe a double meh.
Double meh.
We got the Gipper.
Reagan.
Ronald, the life and times of Ronald
Oh,
Reagan.
the Gipper.
The Gip.
Yeah, that's got to be a rage all around. I would be very surprised if it wasn't. And finally, the one I
As
have no
would I.
freaking clue about. I just watched the trailer 10 minutes ago. Across the river and into the trees, which is almost as long as the movie itself. What the hell? Double Mondo.
Double Mondo.
Oh, Mondo.
Wow, that's actually a movie that's sat on the shelf for quite a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of shelf sitters going on. You know what that means?
Usually it means they're
It's
bad.
dusty. Means it's dusty.
Dusty and crusty, just like us.
You know, The War with Grandpa sat on the shelf for quite a while.
Murray's favorite
I like
movie.
the War with Grandpa.
He loved it.
I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying.
It was
You
meh.
liked it.
It was meh. It wasn't so bad.
It was terrible.
What are you talking about? Those kids jumping on the trampolines was awesome.
Nah, the only good part was the
Christopher Walken?
Christopher Walken, when his one line.
Do you remember what it was?
Yes, I do. He died in his sleep while skydiving.
You can't write better.
See,
dialogue than that.
that's worth a meh right there.
Exactly.
Okay, so so look, I'm going straight to the point here. Nothing is new. If you can imagine what happens in this based on the trailer, that's exactly what is going to happen. At no point in this was I surprised by anything that happens. The
Really?
things I did like about this was, of course, our little crush, or should I say crush boy, David Dastmalchian. Dastmalchian.
Dastmalchian.
Dalmatian.
At any rate, there was nowhere near enough of him.
Yeah, there's never. You know what? It
There's
doesn't
never
matter
enough.
if there's a movie that's just him on the stage doing nothing. That's still not enough. So
it needs to be longer.
yeah, as always, he is spectacular. John Cho, our favorite Harold from Harold and Kumar, is his usual pretty great stuff. But
he always does
apparently, he's now in bed with Blumhouse. Because this is the second Blumhouse we've seen. If you remember, he was in the Grudge remake.
Yeah,
That's right.
Till you said that, I'm like,
totally
what? And then I'm
forgot.
like, oh, the Grudge.
He was the Grudge.
Oh no,
With the best.
John Cho. Why?
Yeah, why are you doing this? So, yeah, we probably can expect more of that. And I just want to say, ugh, for that. Although I love John Cho, so you know what?
Well,
I'm okay with him. Altogether, while everything is unfolding in this, I didn't hate the experience. I mean, the kids all do a pretty good job, which is very rare in an acting situation with kids, doing their canned roles. There is some humor throughout, both because of the stupid and the actual funny. So I did laugh quite a bit through this. So I would say, don't expect to be wowed. Set your expectations really low, like you should for all PG-13 Blumhouse films. And although I came out of this no different than I did going into it, I didn't want to kill anyone or hate the tech stuff too much, so I guess it was a little meh. I didn't hate it. But I'm guessing this was written by ChatGPT. Like, if this wasn't written by ChatGPT, I'd be surprised. I have some unpacking, but I want to hear what you two say.
Oh, I got to go next, do I? So, another PG horror movie from Blumhouse.
Yes.
Yes.
Bumhouse, whatever.
Blumhouse.
That means it starts at a rage for me.
Yeah,
and
me
has
too.
to work its way up to a man.
And did it?
Did that happen? Well, let's find out.
Yeah.
So, no blood or on-screen violence.
No.
not really.
Rage.
Okay.
Knowing CLFs that make you want to do bodily harm to them. Rage.
What?
All right.
Hated them all. Incoherent storyline with a lame dialogue and lazy writing. Rage.
It's ChatGPT.
But wait.
Oh, where's the one?
What? There's a
John
way.
Cho.
What?
Johnny.
As
Yes.
the handsome leading man / baby daddy.
He is pretty handsome.
I love me some Harold Lee / Sulu from Star Trek.
/
And-
John Cho.
And John
Sulu
Cho.
from
And that.
Star
Yeah,
Trek.
he was in
Yeah,
like 3
duh,
Star Trek
there was
movies.
3 Star Trek
It's
movies.
George Takei.
No,
Yeah, that's the original
that's the
Star Wars. Get with it.
That's right.
And don't even talk about who was the Sulu in the Next Generation. I don't think there was
I
one.
don't think there was one. It was like
How
10
disappointing is that?
There was like 10 Spocks, but I think there's only one.
Yeah,
Sulu.
exactly.
Anyway, and that creepy dude, David, what's his name?
Yes.
Score. Still not enough to save this film.
What?
Still a rage.
Murray.
The only thing scary about this film is the fact that AI will eventually take over the world and make us their bitches.
That's true.
I don't know about anybody else, but it makes me want to build a cabin in the woods and hide from technology.
I love cabins in the woods.
Scary stuff, kids. Yeah, it was a rage.
All right.
I'm just tired of just bland horror that does nothing. At no point was this is supposed to be a horror movie. At no point was it scary whatsoever.
Not at all.
This movie is utterly forgettable. If you were to ask me, other than the fact that it's got AI in the title, I'd remember that. I might remember that Das Melchians was in it, but I hope I forget.
Lightning.
Because this was just like if you ask me about this movie in a week, I won't know what it was.
Okay, what was it about? Let's test it now because it hasn't
okay,
been a week.
so it's been a couple of days. I don't even know.
So
was
maybe
it
you've
2
already
days?
forgotten it.
Okay, so this movie was about, I think John Cho's character works for like I don't even know what he works for. I think he works for
Advertising firm.
Yeah, okay. So you're helping me out here. You're not supposed to help me out.
Sorry.
Okay, so he's in the advertising game, and why this company is trying to hire these guys to advertise for them is beyond me, because at some point they buy them. So why would you buy that makes no sense.
Well, it does if you watch it to the end of the movie, but then you've already forgot the end of the movie, so maybe
what happened at the end? I don't even remember.
Well, she basically is everything and everywhere.
She's everything everywhere, and you can't escape.
She's everywhere all at once.
So she owns everything?
She is everywhere.
She is everywhere.
She has no physical body,
the
but apparently
Matrix.
she controls everybody in the world.
Yeah.
So you can't get away from her.
So that's the horror right there.
That's the horror right there.
That's not horror.
Oh, really?
Wait till it happens.
Oh, really? Wait till you get your
Wait
cell
till
phone.
it happens, buddy.
Anyways, I don't
find some robot
I
that'll
honestly,
hand out glasses
I barely
and take away your
remember.
job.
And I stayed awake through this one. I was awake through the whole thing.
Yeah, you were.
Only 90 minutes, and it was in the middle of the day.
You know what? That's the one thing that almost made me not rage. I think it was like 83 minutes. It was like the shortest movie we've watched in a while. It's actually the length that any horror movie should be. But it was bad. Like, it was just...
I laughed a lot at this movie.
There was nothing there, though. It was so bland and...
It was the experience for me, because there's so much...
Okay, you know what? We got to stop giving mez based on the fact that we're having a good time watching a bad movie. Like, that has become a thing with us, and it's not helping anybody out there.
Well, if you go with your buddies...
I'm sorry, Jim. A rage is a rage. Whether you're watching it with your buddies and having a good time or not, it's still a rage.
Okay, it's true. It is. I just wanted to see how far I can string. This movie is really horrible.
It's awful.
But I had so much fun.
It was
because we hadn't seen a movie together in a while, and
we had a good time. There's no question.
Yeah. Laughing at it.
Yeah, laughing at it. We were making some gestures with our hands.
That's right.
It was good times.
It was good stuff.
The movie was still awful. It's a
true.
rage.
It's poopy. I'm sorry, everybody. All right. Well, okay. Let's talk about 1992.
All right.
Remember that?
A heist film?
Yes.
Jim's favorites are heist films.
Are they?
Really?
No, that's not a thing.
I
In fact,
so.
most
They're all my
heist films I can't even stomach. But then this heist film is executive produced by none other than the dog himself.
Snoop Dogg.
That's
Snoop
right.
produced it?
He executive produced
He executive produced
He
it.
threw his
so.
name on it then.
Yeah. And stars.
He was at
Tyrese
a party
Gibson.
with someone, and
With
they said, "You want to
Tyrese.
be an executive
Here's a
producer?" He
credit.
said,
Sure,
"Sure."
here's $100,000.
It's about Rodney King, and he's like, "Count me in."
That's right.
Yeah, that's
Because
what
he was
happened.
around
That's
back then.
exactly what happened. Yeah, of course he was. And it stars Tyrese Gibson as the lead and Christopher Emmanuel as his son, who are both brilliant in this film. And also, this has the once fantastic Ray Liotta in his final film. I think it's got to be his final film, unless there's another 72 films.
No, I think this is the last one we're gonna see him in. This one's the one that trickled out last somehow. It wasn't even.
Was this recorded before the Bear one?
This was done
Cocaine
after
Bear?
I think this was done after it, but
After
maybe
Cocaine
maybe
Bear?
it wasn't.
So this is probably the last one.
This one was shelved a little bit, but not as long as some of the
If
other
you
ones.
put a pin in it, I will explain that later.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So the idea of holding a heist film at the same time as the LA riots was a good concept and does a good job of contrasting the heist content alongside of the disparity of the time that this takes place. The heist part, as usual, I could take it or leave it, but the story of father and son and the message of redemption and second chances in a world that doesn't give them very often is done very well. This is a lot of the idiocy normally surrounding heist films, but as much as I like ladies who kick ass and punch dicks, I like marginalized communities who kick ass and punch dicks even more, especially angry motherfuckers. And Tyrese Gibson does an amazing job in this. I freaking love that guy. After seeing this movie, I'm going to go back and watch all the Fast and the Furious
Are you
franchise
really?
with new eyes.
No, you're not, because he's a clown in those, and you don't want to remember him that way,
That's
Jim.
true. But what I do want is I want to see him in more stuff now.
Serious
That's
stuff.
absolutely. I want to
Absolutely.
see more of him because I didn't think he could act. When you watch
I didn't
Fast and the
think he could
Furious,
either.
it's like,
Well, nobody
I-
in that movie acts.
well, yeah, they're all terrible. So this is a meh for me. I couldn't get it to Amondo just because there's too much heist stuff that's all idiotic. But man, I got me some Tyrese bone going on now. All right.
Yeah, 1992. This film was really two different movies.
Yeah.
On the one hand, we have Tyrese as a badass ex-con who is trying to raise his ungrateful son in a tough LA neighborhood. Then the Rodney King riots happen. It was an emotional and painfully accurate portrayal of the racial problems that existed in 1992 for African Americans, specifically by the police that are supposed to protect them. That scene when they got pulled over was just
Horrifying.
intense. Yeah, like basically his son basically learned right there what the real world was all about. 'Cause, yeah, his dad did nothing wrong, and they were basically ready to freaking shoot him.
Yep.
As much
As the riots going on too.
yeah, during the riot, he's driving.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like Tyrese, and I still contend that he's a rapper or a hip hop artist of some kind, I'm sure he's released some music somewhere.
I don't think so.
I think he did. He actually put in a solid performance here. Well, for the first half of the film, anyway.
What? What are you talking about?
On the other hand, there's the heist film.
Oh, but you love heist films.
I do enjoy them sometimes. Ray
had Ray
Liotta
Liotta, you
and
love-
his sons.
Yeah, apparently he did sing.
See, told you, I knew it.
Murray's no
You
dummy.
keep telling me that he didn't. I know he did.
Murray knows stuff.
Anyway, Ray Liotta and his sons, one of whom is
R&B
played by
singer.
Baby Eastwood Scott, tried to steal $10 million in platinum from a catalytic converter factory or something. Of course, when the riots happened, they find a perfect cover for their crime. I really enjoyed the late Ray Liotta in his last film, apparently. Well, I've heard that before. Being a cool, heartless badass one last time. Nobody plays scary dudes like Ray.
Except for Joe Pesci.
He's more funny. He's a clown. He amuses me.
Oh, Goodfellas, he was pretty scary.
Say that to his face, Merman.
Yeah, that's right.
I will, as long as he doesn't have a gun in his hand.
Or a knife or a spoon or whatever he used
The
in
problem I
Goodfellas.
had was when these two stories came together.
What?
Of course, Tyrese is the only one to stop this evil gang. Then it became another die-hard ripoff, and Tyrese is no John McClane.
He's twice as good.
The action-packed action was fun, but ridiculous. Much like those Fast and Furious movies he's fond of doing. Sorry, it's just a man.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
Tyrese is good, but he's just a man.
all right.
And that's because of Ray, because I love Ray.
that's-
So more Ray than anything else. All
Or
right.
anything else.
I actually had no problem with when it got to the heist part. And I like that they had there was kind of the dynamic between the father and the son with Tyrese's character and the father and son with Scott Eastwood. And I'd like to say, I hate Scott Eastwood, but this is the first time I've ever watched him in a movie where I'm like,
I don't hate him so
maybe
much.
he's not that bad.
Yeah,
maybe he's just had some role, because he was actually pretty good in this.
Surprisingly, everyone in this was good.
Everybody, this was very well acted, top to bottom. But Tyrese Gibson was amazing in this. The way that he carried himself, like when you could just see him, he's trying not to draw attention to himself, the way he's always hunched over, the way he walked, the way he just never looked anybody in the eye. He's just trying to do his own thing. He's trying to make a better life for his son, and he's just trying not to get into any trouble whatsoever. But when the time comes and someone needs some help, he's there for him.
He's the man.
So it's such a eye-opening role, because I did not know Tyrese had it in him. Because he didn't have to say anything. Just his presence on the screen, the way that he carried himself was like told the story without him saying anything. This was such a good movie. And I almost wish it was two separate movies, because I kind of want to know more about his character and his son and follow that a little more. The way that it meshed was okay. I didn't hate it. I just thought that maybe there was a better movie if it wasn't a heist film.
Yeah, I think the tough thing is that it happens on the Rodney King event. So I mean, it's good in the sense that it's a
good concept, but I'm not sure that.
Well, to me, if it had finished in the factory and that boom, cut to black, that's it. Movie's over. Like if it been resolved there, fine. But then the final chase through the empty streets and I don't know.
Yeah, that part was pretty redundant.
It was stupid. But anyway, it was still okay.
And normally that's Bryce and I that are saying that.
Yeah, you know what? For some reason, I didn't mind. I hate chases, but I was like, whatever at that point.
But I agree with Murray. I think that they should have ended it there. I think they should have ended it in that.
Final showdown
in the factory,
then had them
and they didn't
away.
need a stupid chase scene.
They probably didn't. But at the end of the day, just like everybody else here, I mean, it was definitely meh. I just can't say enough about Tyrese Gibson, though.
Yeah.
I am actually looking forward to him getting more roles where he can actually do some acting.
Murray, you know what he's
you're
doing
in luck.
next?
His next thing is Fast X Part 2.
Oh, okay. What other than
Fast
that, Murray,
X Part 2?
Well, remember, it was a cliffhanger, right? So that was only the first
That's
part.
what they should. If they call it Fast X Part 2, that's gonna make it a meh right there, because that's a great
But it was
name.
the Fast
it
and
was
Furious
a meh
10,
for you
and
last
then
time anyway.
I know, it was the first meh ever for the Fast series.
Because the end of the last one,
I am looking forward to more Fast movies.
Yeah, the end of the last one, they all supposedly died, but then they're making a second one, so obviously they didn't die. So I don't know.
Because you're a complete idiot. That's why, by the way.
But yeah, I'm sure Tyrese will be back with that one too.
So just so you know, we're going to see a hell of a lot more of Tyrese Gibson.
All right.
He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah, he's
7,
always got stuff,
8,
but
9, 10.
I'm hoping this is the first in a trend of roles that are actually good, because that's the only thing holding him back right now.
Well,
is
he
he
just
has
needs to get the hell away
chosen
from Vin
some
Diesel is the
terrible.
problem.
Well, that's part of the problem.
Yeah, he's making money.
But yeah, that's the whole thing. Is Tyrese Darnell Gibson is an American R&B singer and actor from Los Angeles, California. He signed with RCA Records in 1998 and released his debut single, Nobody Else, in August of that year.
There you go. See, the Murr. Don't question the Murr.
I don't remember him.
I didn't
being
even
a
do the
singer
research.
at
I just
all.
remembered him as a singer before he was ever an actor.
You know what?
Plus, apparently he was. They don't
he's
say
the one who-
rapper. They say R&B singer.
I don't know.
so-
I was close.
Now I want his album.
Whatever,
you know what? I'm going to go get his album right after we get off
There
this
you go.
pod's
I think
poopcast.
apparently he's had quite a few albums. He's had 2000 Watts. He's had I Want to Go There, Alter Ego, Open Invitation, Black Rose. Tyrese was his first album. So,
Self-titled.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And
You know
got,
what?
And he's got some EPs too.
There's just not enough Tyrese to go around right now in
He's
this
a
room.
double threat.
Yeah, and he's
Possibly triple.
he's looking
Possibly
he's
triple.
looking very
I don't know if he dances.
he's looking very stoic on the cover of every one of those albums.
Of course he is.
He's
Didn't see him smile
He's
too much
looking
either.
very Tyrese.
Anyway, yeah, he was okay.
He's like wearing a
Okay.
fedora or
I,
something.
I didn't think I liked this film that much, but
Yeah,
it
but
was okay.
how did you not love his performance though?
He was so good.
He was
Like
so
I said,
good
the
in
first like 2/3 of the movie, with the stuff with
So you
just
did-
him
but-
and his son was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
but just forget about everything else
But
and
then
just
the action stuff started, and I'm like, I'm sorry, there's like 10 of them with guns, and he has a.
But they're all
what,
stupid people. So
yeah, I don't know. I
He's
didn't
Tyrese.
think it was so unreasonable.
It just
the way that all
became
that
like
went
every
down.
other action movie at the end. So,
Plus
which you
he's-
guys hate anyway.
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
true.
I mean, I enjoy
Maybe that's
them.
why it's
but-
only a meh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, Tyrese, just keep giving it to us,
Yeah,
baby.
all right.
And he is a triple threat because he's also a producer.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
There we go.
Oh, next up, we have Reagan.
Everybody's a producer, Jim.
Reagan, or as I like to call it, the Ron and Nancy story.
Is that what you want to call
That's what I want. That's all it was. What their
What did you
their
expect?
relationship.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
thought it centered more on his actual term as a president, but they
Well-
kind of glossed over a lot of that.
well, they glossed over the bad stuff. That's for
yeah.
sure.
It covers the life of Ronald Reagan, the 40th president of the United States.
Yeah.
As we were watching this, it occurred to us that it was either a 2-hour political ad for the Republican Party or a religious conversion film. You can see it and judge for yourself. One thing is clear, the filmmakers
kinda both.
sure loved the Gipper. I kept waiting for the halo and angel wings to show up, because according to them, Ronald Reagan was a complete saint. Those of us who lived through the 80s would disagree. While I would admit he did some good things, he was way too obsessed with communism and Mother Russia. I did find it
As a conservative.
yeah, I did find it fascinating that he was the president of the Screen Actors Guild and helped to create a better working environment for working actors, even if his own career sucked. This film glosses over any negative events in Reagan's life, including when he was almost killed in an assassination attempt. Surviving this apparently gave him supernatural powers.
I don't even know why they.
And according to the
focused on
story, Ronald Reagan was solely responsible for the downfall of the Soviet Union and communism. It was just him, one guy.
Just him. He's the only one.
And apparently the Iran-Contra situation was no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
Not to say it wasn't entertaining. If you
It's
truly
amazing how
believe
they just literally
Reagan,
just touched upon that for like.
Yeah,
if you blinked, you missed it.
yeah. If you
There's
truly,
all of a sudden Ollie North's on there for a half a
Ollie
second,
North.
and then all of a
Then
sudden,
George,
let's move on to
H.W.
something else. Well, there's
Yeah.
nothing to see here.
yeah,
But
What's
they just
happening-
put it in so they can say, "Oh, we're fair and balanced,"
yeah.
like
Oh.
Fox News.
Yeah, if you truly believe Reagan was a great man, then you can enjoy this nostalgic fluff piece. What I don't get is why the story is told from the point of view of a former Russian spy,
No kidding.
played by John Voight in a really bad Russian accent.
Yeah,
Much
but
as I
really,
love
really good makeup to make
much
him
as I
look
love
younger.
the 80s, this was a rage.
Okay, well, you want me to go?
I don't care.
I got to get this out. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go
So
ahead.
Murray stole a lot of my thunder, which is perfectly okay because I think this is going to be unanimous. I wasn't sure exactly what this was. Was it a made-for-TV movie Republican campaign dressed up as a conversion film, or a made-for-TV Christian conversion film dressed up as a Republican campaign? What
Yes.
I do know is that having a superpower evil spy badly presented by a terrible Russian accented John Voight did not make this any better. I'm actually not sure what it was. Was it the terrible one-on-one conversations with Reagan and Nancy, or the token Reagan helping black athletes scene? I'm thinking, like, just to prove that the Republicans
Or okay, with
are
African Americans.
not racist in any way, shape, or form. Like that scene alone just made me infuriated because I was like, you know what, we should just put that in there because Reagan wasn't a racist. Or was it the terrible music and score? Because originally I thought they had no music budget because traveling through 3 decades of thousands of options of music they could have played in this other than the canned crap that they had. But apparently once we get to the 80s, apparently they had budget to pay for Phil Collins.
And a confusion. It's an awesome
Yes.
video.
Yeah. Suffice to say, this movie is horrible. I don't want to give it any more airtime, except to say the simple word that would explain this movie to anybody who's actually seen it is absolute rage. Oh, wait. No, I do have one more thing to say. Murray, I am so sorry that I asked you and paid for your ticket to go see this movie.
I'm glad you paid for tickets. I did mention I didn't want to see it.
You did say you didn't want to see it.
But I didn't want you to suffer alone.
Well, this is what BFFs do.
And you came to my neighborhood, so.
That's right.
Okay, so the first warning sign is it's made by MJM Entertainment Group, and they specialize in Christian themes, conversion films, things like that. And it's just anytime you see MJM Entertainment Group, just run in the other direction. Do not watch it. It's pure propaganda, and so was this. I've never seen a movie that wants to show so badly that we're totally balanced because we're going to show you the bad stuff and the good stuff, but they literally spend so little time on the bad stuff. Like it's like a one little line and then they move on to something else.
Do they even
so
show it?
that you don't even know really what it was.
Yeah.
They just kind of bring up the concept of it really quickly and move on, and you're like, what? But if you grew up in the 80s, you absolutely know what they were talking about. And they did touch upon these things. Why would they even do that though? If they're gonna have this total puff piece on Reagan, why would they even do that? This was just aggravating from start to finish. I hated every single second of it. I don't like total puff pieces. I don't understand why anybody would make something like this. I guess it's because because the election's coming up, I guess.
That's what I thought.
This is all politically charged.
But
for
it's
sure.
just garbage. And why would anybody agree to be in this garbage? Like MJM Entertainment, why would Dennis Quaid go? Like what? I don't understand.
They paid him.
Yeah, obviously paid him, but I think Murray did a bit of research. Did you see that?
I had the History Channels. They were on free preview for like the last month or so.
Right.
And they have stuff I've been watching. Like they have a series of Morgan Freeman talking about Great Escapes, like stuff like that I watch. But one of the things I saw was something about the Holy Wars, Holy This, Holy That, hosted by Dennis Quaid. So yeah, basically he's now hosting religious
Okay, well, I guess that
shows,
makes a lot more sense.
I'm pretty sure he's a Republican.
And John Voight as the KGB agent was enough. That's enough to rage right there. And choosing that as the narration
the
and
focal point.
So, I mean, it's obviously completely fabricated. There's no way that this guy was following Reagan from when he was an actor all the way through his political career. And that he had such admiration for him.
I don't know why.
This is all just absolute
why did
fiction.
They care anyway? Like they said present day, but it couldn't have been 2024.
Yeah,
maybe it was
matter.
the 90s, but anyway, or 2000s. But the guy, his one question was, why did the Soviet Union fall? And that became a 2-hour movie about Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Okay, then.
100%.
Just
blame one guy. And he said, well, was it us who tried to kill him? Like, no. I'm like, well...
Yeah, it was.
Maybe they should have tried.
This movie was so completely horrible. Like this. Okay, can we just back the bus up just 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
Is this now the worst movie you've ever seen? Can we please get over?
No.
Kevin Spacey's.
No.
Blip.
Life of David Gale's worst movie.
Okay, just so we get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Because this people who are listening, that is, in Bryce's opinion, the worst movie that's ever been made.
Yeah.
And he has actually seen this movie, Reagan. So I'm like, okay, dude, if that's the
Reagan's awful.
If that's the hill you want to die on, is The Life of David Gale is the worst movie
Reagan's
ever
definitely
made.
making the list of worst movies of the year this year. There's no question. But not
this is going to be my number one.
And it will be it would be high up on the worst of all time. But there's only one number one.
Okay, yeah, that's still a hill you're going to die on. Okay.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just so we know.
Okay.
Just so
I think you made me watch it again too, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. It was still the worst movie I'd ever seen.
Okay. Well,
I think you should watch it.
It tries to be clever and it's not.
I think you should watch it again with me.
Yeah. Why? You like
I've
it?
never seen it.
Oh, well, there you go.
I like Kevin Spacey.
You might not hate it, man.
Yeah, you'll like it.
Because it's not the
There you
worst
go.
movie ever made.
I just want to
It
make
is the worst
I just
movie
wanna
ever
make him
made,
sit
but
through
I
it again.
still think
now-
Murray's gonna like it.
I think Reagan.
I'm gonna put that in my dare bag.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways,
All right. Okay. So our last movie that we saw in cinema
yeah,
is called Across the River and Into the Trees.
Yeah.
To Grandmother's House We Go.
Yeah.
no, the grandmother's house we go was
No,
not.
Grandma's
What?
house.
That's not
Grandpa's
right.
house?
No, it's just across the river
Oh, and through
And
the
through-
wood. No,
No.
into the trees.
and into the trees.
No woods. It's just
No,
trees.
it's just trees.
All right. So, love story built on two people with mutual interests and a passion for life and each other, with terrific writing which draws you into this love affair, can be so romantic. Oh, but that's not what this was.
No.
In fact, through the whole beginning of this film, I was annoyed by the whole concept of the introduction of said love interest, and I'm putting that in heavy quotes, where most of the transition scenes were unbelievable. Like a Victrola just sitting there in an open market with a record on it, or ordering drinks delivered at 1 minute before the bar closes, and everybody leaves. And some young lady in her early 20s fawning over an unlikable character in Liev Schreiber's character. The whole love interest was taking me completely out of this story. Now, let's back up a bit to the beginning.
Let's back up.
We meet Liev's character, who's a colonel in the U.S. Army, and he's in super hot, and I mean super hot and cut shape, but supposedly has heart disease and is dying. So you instantly get the opinion based on how and what he's saying that he does not intend on coming back after his hiatus to Venice. He's joined by a sergeant sent by his doctor to basically make sure he lives. The tension is high between the sergeant and him, but softens soon as the story progresses. Instantly, when we get to Venice, he finds this young lady who drives him to Venice on her gondola, and the romance side of the story starts to unfold, albeit not really.
Not really.
But it really comes across that our young lady, who has daddy issues and marriage issues, is smitten, or conveniently becomes smitten, with the colonel. Which, unlike the disparity in age we discussed last week with Between the Temples, which seemed natural, this comes off with a much creepier vibe. But mostly coming from the young lady, which is a little surprising. And I mean, if you're planning on offing yourself, why not spend your last weekend with a hot lady? I mean, right?
Sounds like a
Good plan, right?
Plan, yeah.
And it is said that this is Hemingway's worst book. And as I was halfway through this, I was thinking it's also the worst adaptation of his work on film. But as the story continues, we get to understand.
A lot of butts in your review.
There is a lot of butts. There was so much butts. So yeah, as it continues, and I start to understand the deeper story and why the colonel is going to Venice, that there was not real romance from his perspective, and probably also not from hers. The ending was perfect for the story that they spun, and in a strange twist of fate, or perhaps a strange twist in writing, the last quarter of this film saved it from me from a raging romance saga. Liev was great. The shooting in the romantic city of Venice was picturesque and beautifully shot, and the music was very well placed throughout the film. Thank goodness for strong finishes, which doesn't happen very often. This saved it from being a rage. This was a meh for me. The last quarter of this film, I was fully enjoying.
Yeah.
Fully enjoying.
Liev Schreiber was very, very good in this role. This might be one of the best things I've ever seen him do as far as the role goes in his performance.
Yeah, for sure.
He was really, really good. I actually didn't have a problem with the romance because I never looked at it the way you looked at it from the beginning. Like as soon as it was introduced, it sounds like you were starting to roll your eyes, and I was totally rolling. I understand that, but I wasn't,
mostly from her perspective.
I had a little bit of faith in Hemingway. Having said that, apparently in the book they actually do have sex.
Nice.
Yeah, but.
I mean the opposite of nice.
I haven't read the book, so I don't know that that's a fact, but this is what I've heard through the grapevine. At any rate, I have the problem I had with this is I realize why they did the 4:3 aspect ratio. At least I think I realize. I don't know that I do realize it.
It's because
it's because he's at the end of his life. He feels things are closing in on him. So he feels almost claustrophobic, and I get that.
Yeah.
But if you're shooting Venice, just open the bloody screen out. You're shooting one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Let me see the gosh darn city. Why are you cutting off the edges? It was so beautifully shot.
Yeah.
How nice would it have been to watch this in glorious? Yeah, in IMAX. That would have been awesome. So instead of because whatever you were going for, it didn't matter. It wasn't effective. It just had me a little bit frustrated that you're cutting off the edges of of this picturesque, wonderful city. Like, to look at it is so beautiful, and I'm sitting here looking at a third of what I should be looking at. So that annoyed me, but everything else did not. I was very, very involved in this movie. I loved Liev Schreiber in this movie. Yeah. He's never been better.
Yep.
The story was, it has been said that this is Hemingway's worst novel. But it just shows you what a good writer Hemingway was, is what it does.
Yeah, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't have to fawn over Schreiber's performance too much, but everybody in this was very good.
Yep.
Her fawning over him made sense because of the situation that she was in as well. It did.
No, okay, so
because it didn't have to be him. It could have been.
No, I know all that, but it was too overtly like, I want to bang you, and it shouldn't have been. I get that from her. It shouldn't have been as so now.
And I get the way that he reacted too.
Yeah, well, in his case, he was being respectful.
Yes.
And he was just enjoying her company.
Yes.
But to me, that whole scene about how she was infatuated with him, because she had all kinds of other people she could have been in. Yeah, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy the way they were delivering it. To me, it was the delivery of her character. Now, not that she didn't act well in that character, but I didn't like how it was delivered. I think they could have done that in a more platonic way that would have seemed more natural. Like, she was like eyeballing his penis half the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is not.
And why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, he like, they showed how hot he was. I was eyeballing his penis
exactly.
Too. Like, he was pretty hot through the whole movie. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, Liev Schreiber. If I'm gonna be gay, maybe it'll be with you, because he was pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie.
Anyways, we get to the same conclusion. It was meh. Maybe it was a higher meh for me than you, because at no point was I thinking that I could possibly give this a rage. From the opening sequence on, I was sucked in. I wanted to know more about this character, and as it went on, we learned more about this character, and things did develop, and I liked it. It ended perfectly,
didn't it? Like, if it had ended something different, it could have changed for me.
Yeah,
it really could have.
I suppose I could be. We could be having a different conversation for sure.
If the ending wasn't perfect, like it really was a
perfect ending. I enjoyed it a lot, but it was meh.
Yeah, I enjoyed the last half more.
I enjoyed all of it.
Yeah,
I just sat there and I just enjoyed looking at the movie too. It was just beautiful to look at. This was a really, really lovely, lovely movie to watch.
It was very beautiful to watch. In 4:3.
4:3. Why?
You know what that means, Mur?
I don't know. What does it mean?
Hit some buttons.
Oh.
That's what it meant.
That's what it meant.
I'm gonna rewind a bit too.
Yeah.
Because he didn't give
me a chance to do it last time.
And it's
Oh, that was for Reagan.
Yeah, that was for
Yeah.
Reagan.
Ronald
You
Reagan.
guys jumped ahead too fast.
Yeah, we're so excited
Yes.
to talk about
Yeah.
Hemingway.
To get off the poop.
Tear down that wall.
Tear it down.
And yeah, and disassemble your country.
Yes.
Sure, we'll do that.
All right,
You said
Ronnie,
so.
since you said it.
Murray-
You
Murray's
said
trying
it.
to-
Let's just put an end to communism.
Murray's winding me up for my next segment.
There you go.
All right. Hey, that's not. This has nothing to do with you there, Jim.
Well, maybe he said earlier in the
Next on
podcast
the
there's
docket.
something
Is there?
that's going to
What
give
is
us
there?
more deets.
Raymond Allen Leota.
Okay.
That's his real
Ray.
name. Was born on December 18th, 1954.
Wow.
In Newark, New Jersey. He was adopted.
Hmm.
He died in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic on May 26, 2022 from
That's
heart
not a
failure.
bad place to die.
In between, he had an amazing film career and played many iconic roles.
That's true.
He remains one of my favorite all-time actors. Now, yeah, he died in 2022. I have so far seen 2 films that came out after he passed away.
That's right.
Yes.
And all there have been 4 films that were
Wow.
released in the past 2 years.
4.
According to the dates, Leota passed away 4 weeks after the film 1992 was completed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it was his last film.
Yeah,
Unless
yes
he did
and
one
no,
for 2
no, wait,
weeks.
there's more.
What?
It's on the shelf for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Ray was also in Cocaine Bear,
Yeah.
Fool's Paradise, and Dangerous Waters.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, these final projects in his career were not exactly very good films.
No.
Maybe at the end he
Wah,
was just
wah.
taking projects to keep working.
I'm glad 1992 came out last.
I will admit, it had those 2 have actually come out yet, or they maybe just strike the video, but
Everything else has come out.
I enjoyed his sinister and heartless character in 1992. The other ones, not so much. Now, according to the chronology, the Fool's Paradise was completed in 2018.
Huh.
Cocaine Bear, Ray Liotta died a week after he went in to do his dialogue replacement. to
Oh,
re-record
so his touch-ups.
his touch-up. So the movie was completed, but he had to come back and
Yeah.
do voiceovers. Then
So-
he died
and
a
he
week
did.
after that.
And he did.
And Dangerous Waters, which was in Dominican Republic,
Was where it was being
he
filmed?
died in the middle of filming the movie.
Whoa.
Much like John Candy with that Wagons East thing.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah.
he was in the Dominican Republic to shoot the movie, and he just died of heart
So did they
failure.
CGI him in for the last
I don't
part
know
of
if it ever came out.
Wow.
But
No, I
yeah,
kinda
Which movie?
Dangerous Waters. That's the last thing on the IMDb. 2023 it says.
Yeah, I've definitely
the
seen
captain.
Fool's Paradise.
I have not seen that
Yeah.
one.
Me too.
That's Charlie Day,
Yes, directed by, yes.
and he's in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's Dangerous Waters?
Yeah, that's the last thing on here. He was the captain. Anyway, yeah, he was. I don't know if he even
I
finished
am
his.
the captain.
I don't know if he even finished his.
I
his
am the
work.
sea.
Yeah, I guess we'll
You know,
have
he
to
just
see
cut
it.
his scene short because
Oh, no,
you know
that's
he was
Mountain.
dead. But anyway,
That's different.
yeah, Goodfellas, Narc, Copland, Unlawful Entry. Nobody played scary dudes better than Ray
Yeah, Dangerous
Liotta.
Waters came out.
Even in his bad films, he was always the best thing about them. I really wish they would just stop releasing crappy movies after the man had already died. Let him rest in peace, Hollywood.
Well, they finished their movie. Kind of have to release it.
Yeah,
you don't.
exactly.
It's like, Ray
Who
died. You know
says?
what? This isn't up to snuff.
Let's
Let's
just dump it.
we'll just
Yeah,
dump
but-
it.
Our main star died. Let's just not finish it.
Yeah, but the 2 movies that we saw, I think both of them were meh. You gave
Yeah.
Grizzly Bear a meh.
I loved
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear. I thought it was a Mondo.
Oh, there you go. So it-
Grizzly Bear. Cocaine
Grizzly Bear on coke.
Fool's Paradise was
Based
actually
on
it was
a real
okay.
story.
It was
There you
kind of
go.
funny.
Yeah.
so apparently,
Got Adrian Brody in it, doesn't it?
God.
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't.
don't tell
That's
Murray
not really
that.
Yeah, it does.
That's not a selling feature for Murray.
It's got
me.
Ken Jeong in it.
Yeah.
He's always funny. Jason Sudeikis, Jason Bateman. You love Jason
All
Bateman.
the Jasons. You love the Jasons.
Jason Bateman's like your
You're-
favorite.
You're not making the point you think you are. So far, you said one name I actually like.
Yeah, Jason
Yeah.
Bateman.
Yeah, that's it.
Aha.
I don't give a crap about.
Teen Wolf 2.
That's right. Teen Wolf 2.
Don't get him started.
Okay, you
Don't
ready?
get him started.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
All right. It's not going to come as a surprise to anyone here, but there's two things in this world I can't stand. People insensitive of other people's culture and religious conversion films.
Yes.
Those are the two things.
Those are two valid things to not be able to stand.
Right?
Yeah.
But on top of that, don't dress up a biopic as something that it's not. Like it's a political. Like there's so much crap about this movie that if people like before we went into it too, Murray's looking at it and says, "Oh, this is like got tens across the board."
Yeah, no, I went to IMDb. They were like,
that's what happens with these movies.
They were 8 reviews.
Yeah.
One was like a 3.5 out of 10. The other were all 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
Like
this was a 1 out of 10.
This was
for
a
me.
0 out of 10.
If I could give 0, it would have got 0.
This was 0.
Yeah. -1. If
Yes.
I want to
There's only like 1 or 2 movies in the history of the world that are worse than it.
Okay. And both of them star Kevin Spacey.
One of them
The
does.
Life of David Gale and 9 Lives.
Oh, I haven't seen 9 Lives, so I have to reserve judgment on that one.
And I can't even.
I have
dare
no
you to see
intention
it.
of ever seeing it because, and now you can't
sounds-
dare because it's already been done.
I know. So yeah, you know what? Fuck me with these Christian conversion films. Like, just make a movie that's good.
On that note, Creed is touring this summer.
Murray's gonna come in with a Creed crew shirt next.
maybe.
That's all I got. Stop making
I
them.
don't know why that
They
made me laugh.
won't.
Arms wide open. Huh. What should my rage be this week?
Well, last week's was so awful.
Last week was awesome.
Anything you come out with is going to be.
It was an
better than
unrage for Cineplex. That wasn't a rage.
Ah, it was
Get a
an
raging
it was
boner for
it was an
Cineplex.
update on a previous. By the way, you know what my rage is? My rage is that even though that was that happened, it didn't happen immediately. I went to go buy some tickets, and I had to use one of my free because it doesn't start until September 17th, which I didn't read the fine print. So my rage is fine print.
There you go.
There you go. You know what? This is like that song that used
I
to be
gotta wait
on.
till September 17th, and then finally it's gonna be the way it's supposed to be and the way it always should have been.
Murray, remember that show with what's her name, Shirley and Lamb Chop?
I don't know what the show is, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember Lamb Chop.
Is the puppet.
Yeah. So this is like that. This is like that song they used to sing at the end of it. This is the
Wow.
rage that doesn't end.
I thought that
Because
was
it goes
song,
on
but-
and on, my friend. Someone started raging. It's because something forever.
I know that's where the song
just
was from,
because it is the rage that never ends. Right? It's going to come to September and something's going to go wrong.
Exactly.
Sherry.
Whatever.
Sherry
Lamb chop.
Lewis.
I remember the lamb chop.
Yeah, Lamb Chop and whoever the puppet person was.
Sherry Lewis.
All right. And lamb chop.
Yes, it was
The most
lamb
delicious
chop.
of all the chops.
That's right. Best of the chops.
Chops are terrible.
Lamb.
No. Stop. How did we get to this in my rage? Stop
Because it was the rage that never ends.
Well,
So what's your
no, it
actual
never.
rage?
It will end on September 17th
your
because finally
actual
they'll do it right.
I don't know if that's
Maybe
gonna
you'll
You
happen.
think
Stop
people need an
talking about
update on what I'm talking about?
No,
or-
they don't
they
care.
don't
But
care
you know
anymore.
what? But you know what? We're gonna find out. Because I'm sure you're gonna bring it up again.
No, now I'll be done with it because now I didn't realize at the time that it wasn't going to be immediate, and then I went to purchase some tickets.
Yeah,
So then
of
I had to
course.
buy one free ticket, one $9.99 ticket, and then I had to I couldn't buy another $9.99 ticket because that took up my 2 tickets there, and then I had to buy another senior's ticket for my mother for $11.
Just use your free ones.
Well, I could have used another free one, but I don't want to use them all.
I don't know. You know what? I'm changing my rage, It's Bryce again. Like, who?
I like to have my free tickets
For what reason?
so I can use them later.
For what reason?
Eventually, they'll get used.
As someone with a financial background, time value of money is important.
Yeah.
And you're spending your hard-earned cash, which could be earning dividends on
But
horse betting or whatever.
maybe eventually ticket prices will go up, and then I'll look like a genius because I'll have all these free
You already
tickets.
have. Break it to you.
I don't think so. Or here's the one I'm thinking: you're just going to drop dead like Ray Liotta, and then you're not going to ever get to use.
Then you'll
it.
have
Could
300 free movies in your account.
that's right, and then you put that in your pipe and smoke it.
That's right.
Just might.
Then I guess it's
Was that your actual rage, or did I distract you?
No, that was my rage.
Nobody knows what his rage.
My
is.
rage was gonna be. I'll tell you what my rage was gonna be until you got me off on that tangent. I don't know how you even did it, but you did it.
I just mentioned what last week's was about, the unrage.
Yeah, right, exactly. That guy. Then I remembered that
you had more to
that I went
discuss.
into buy. Anyways, you know what? No, let's just leave that as my rage. My other rage was just that, if I'm going to watch a movie about Venice, just show me widescreen.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But we're going with the first one. First one's my actual rage.
Call it a double.
Nah, it's not a double rage. Now I'm not so upset about it. I'm more upset about it's now Cineplex. I got to wait for like 2 weeks.
Okay, good. There we go.
What do you do without me?
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Ooh, the lists. Didn't think we were going to have the list this week, but you forgot
It's on here.
that we talked about Carol Kane last week. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back and watch some Carol Kane movies this last week, which I did.
Nice. What'd you watch?
I watched When a Stranger Calls.
Oh, she's so good in that.
She's so good
She's
in
just
it.
a baby in that.
She's such a little baby.
I tell
like
you.
a little tiny baby.
Yeah,
and she's
wonderful in
she
that.
is so
That is-
completely
Honestly, that is
wonderful.
such a good movie. The original the remake is just,
poopy.
yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
But
and
it is such a good movie.
You know, it's important that people know, like, if you haven't seen When a Stranger Calls,
Mhm.
it's probably one of the best slasher movies. And I saw this in cinemas opening night, by the way, when it came out.
Oh.
So, yeah. She had a bit of a run for her money in this film because what's-his-face, the cop in it, is pretty damn fantastic also. Why
Yeah,
can't I
but
remember
she's-
his name?
I don't know.
Remember what his name is?
Nope. I'll find out, but.
Can't even find the movie.
Wah, wah,
How long ago
wah.
was that?
79, I want to
Oh,
say.
yeah, that's way before I was looking.
Seven,
My
right?
It was
favorite,
1979.
my favorite movies of her were in the 80s.
The 80s.
Yeah, you were going to talk about that. Charles Durning.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's great
could I
in
forget
this.
Charles
Yeah,
Durning?
so I saw that one, and then of course I had to go back and watch Annie Hall,
Yep.
which she's also fantastic in that.
Yep.
And then I also went back and watched Princess Bride. So where she crushes Billy Crystal, like it's like not even a contest. It's like
Yeah, she pretty much
Billy
crushes
Crystal.
everybody.
Yeah, she's crushed everybody. So now, Marie, you said you were going to tell me something about Carol Kane that I wouldn't be happy about, and I don't know if that's a truth.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
All right, I just
That
remember
was
it
like
last
a month
week.
ago?
No, it was last week when we started talking about her.
I don't know. I think maybe I mentioned it. Well, yeah, because Bryce makes fun of me again because I said, yeah, some of the movies she's in are terrible.
Like,
But apparently
what?
it
But
doesn't
she's
matter.
never terrible.
But she's never terrible.
So,
For Christmas.
I am
The
saying
Bounty Hunter.
Carol
she's in
Kane
stuff like that.
Yeah,
is mesmerizing.
But she's still mesmerizing. Yeah, she's absolutely mesmerizing. That's
Mer, what's your vote on Carol Kane?
No, I haven't seen enough of her stuff. If you're talking about the Carol Kane from the 80s, absolutely.
She's still the same Carol Kane.
I
she's still
have-
the same person.
Last movie I saw hers was The Dead Don't Die.
and she
and
was,
she was
also
amazing.
amazing in
And
that.
then you have to go back.
Was she in The Dead Don't Die? No, I don't
apparently.
remember.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, she was. She was.
You're
actually
in,
Yeah.
what's his face?
Okay, there's got to be some sort of mesmerized off in there.
You have to
No,
go
there
back
isn't
a
because Tilda Swinton was already
long way.
punted.
Tilda Swinton's
So-
punted. Bill Murray's been punted.
Oh, wait! There is, because isn't Adam Driver still
Adam
mesmerizing?
Driver's.
Adam Driver is still on the list. Yes. he
There you
is.
go. So we might have to rewatch it for a third time.
Man. It's not my favorite movie.
I know.
I actually enjoyed it more the second time. Than
Yeah,
the
so
first
maybe
time.
the third time it'll become a Mondo for you.
Maybe. I mean, it's
Which
not
it
out
is.
of,
I
not
liked
out of
her
the
in
realm of
Scrooged.
possibilities.
Yeah.
She was the best part of Scrooge.
She was the best.
She's the
part.
best part of
In everything.
everything she's in.
Bitch hit me with a toaster. Love a girl with spirit.
She was the best part
know
of
what?
Adam's family values, for God's sake.
The good thing is that Murray's going to be able to find us some mesmerize offs with her now. Adding her into the list.
I
This is
suppose.
the weekend to do it, I guess. I won't have time after that, but
Yep.
right there.
All right, so it's unanimous. Carol Kane
Yeah.
is mesmerizing until we start doing some mesmerize offs.
Oh yeah, she was in the Sisters Brothers
She
too.
was.
I just watched that again
And
recently.
yeah, you watch it
and that's
got
got Joaquin Phoenix.
yeah.
and-
Are one of those two
But
guys
is she
still
in
on
it
there?
for 5 minutes? So that's the tough
Yeah,
thing.
she's not in
She's
it
not
for
in for
enough.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the key, right? She's a pretty
Yeah,
strong
yeah.
character
Yeah.
actor. So that's going to be tough.
Yep,
Some of her major roles.
yep,
All right.
yep,
Well,
yep,
anything
yep,
else
yep.
from the list that we need to talk about? Obviously, Murray's not going to give Tyrese a mesmerizing either.
That
So,
ain't happening.
and now we have to see more
I can't
Tyrese.
give him based on one role.
He's on way too many Fast and the Furious movies.
That's true.
He's in literally all
Although
of them.
he's
I'm-
pretty mesmerizing compared to everybody else in that.
Maybe.
Not saying much.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's enough of that.
Okay then.
Last time on Rage or Dare, Bryce picked from the merman's ice creamy bucket of rage and pulled a to-be-tastic Arnie flick when he picked the 2014 flop Sabotage. I'm not sure what you're talking about when it comes to films flopping. It's very ice to see you are paying attention to my later movie endeavors. But you know what I have to say about decreased financial success is that, well, you know, the Iceman cometh and the Iceman taketh away. This week, it's all Jimbo all the time, and I'm sure Jim is itching to pull something from Bryce's bag of rage. But my guess is again that our slack-jawed yokel was too busy again to do his job. Don't worry, Jim. Your god of rage is here to deliver us some evil. Now let's check in with Bryce and get the full scope of just how far our muscle-bound politician has fallen from grace. And now, get me to the chopper. Come on. What are you waiting for? Do it. Do it now. Come on.
I love
Yeah,
that.
and
man.
Casey was nice enough to send us about 20 or 30 new dares.
Yeah,
so
I think Bryce is
it's a big juicy
intentionally-
bag now.
You know, the thing is that I think Bryce is intentionally doing that because he knows that Casey gives us gold.
That's right.
And so he doesn't want what Casey's delivering. So he's slack-jawing his role because instead of filling the bag so I could take some of his, he's making me try and take Casey's. But I'm not falling for that, Bryce. I'm also going to choose from Murray's bag.
Oh yeah.
So take that. All right. Now, you want to tell us about Arnie's super movie?
He's busy playing with the dog.
I'm not playing with the dog. This movie starts out. Here's what it's about. It's about this DEA task force. All right.
Sounds original.
And Arnie's like the head of it. And they decide that they're going to rob like this drug cartel. Okay.
That sounds like a bad idea.
So they end up robbing this thing. It's kind of ingenious the way they do it. Honestly, this movie opens up kind of weird. It opens up with this lady being tortured, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then they go to this they rob this drug cartel, and then they go to get the money, but basically they rob it, but they kind of put it all down the toilet, right? And then they're gonna go fish it out of the sewer, I guess. Was
Sounds
the
like
idea?
A great idea.
Yeah, that's right. So when they get there, though, somebody's already taken it.
What?
Yeah. So that's where it kind of kicks off. And as a side story, the torture that we see at the beginning is actually Arnie's wife.
No.
Yeah. So his wife and his kids get tortured and killed in Mexico.
What? In Mexico?
Yeah.
No.
So he decides that he's gonna get revenge or something. I don't know. Anyways.
Or something.
The movie, I'm actually not doing it justice because for the first 45 minutes, I was literally saying to myself, this movie isn't that bad.
This is the best Arnie movie I've seen.
Other than Arnie dropping F-bombs like you've never seen before. I've never seen him swear so much in my life, which was kind of off-putting in a way, seeing him say, well, F this, F that in his accent. But you know what? I got over it. And the movie wasn't that bad. And then all of a sudden, it started just getting silly.
What?
And here's the thing. You got Terrence Howard in this. It's obvious to me that you've put Terrence Howard in this. He's literally said nothing through the whole thing. So he's obviously going to be like the kind of twist bad guy at the end. And you just know it.
Yeah.
Because it's Terrence Howard. And you didn't put him in to stand there and say nothing for
the
an
entire
hour
movie.
and 20 minutes. So that was pretty obvious. Sam Worthington was as good as he's ever been in this. He's actually really quite good in this. Terrence Howard's always good, even though he didn't say anything until the end. But then at the end, it got really, really silly. And there's this one lady that's part of the DEA crew here that she's a drug addict, and she's trying to do everything she can to get away with stuff, let's just say, without revealing too much. But there's a scene where she kills a guy and he bleeds about, I don't know, 400 liters of blood.
Sweet.
And there's blood everywhere. And then she decides she's going to cut him up and then put him in her own refrigerator and kind of folds him up and puts him in the refrigerator. And then she cleans everything. But then the guy like leaks another 400 liters of blood out of the fridge and there's a big pool. But here's the thing. She's putting him in his own refrigerator or her own refrigerator. So what was the point of any of it? You're not hiding him from anybody. You just put him in your own refrigerator.
She wanted to keep him fresh.
So what was the point? You're not transporting him somewhere else. That's why you cut him into pieces.
Maybe she was going to eat him later.
It made no sense. So anyways, then there's like this weird high-speed chase. Terrence Howard meets his demise in the most anticlimactic way that could possibly happen. And this movie that had some potential about this DEA that guy, you know, was going to rip off some drug guys so that he could get some funding for himself to go down to Mexico to take care of business.
Taking care of business.
And get revenge for his wife and his daughter and
The
whoever.
torture
I don't know if it
family.
was daughter or his son. I don't even remember anymore. But that wasn't a bad story. Let's have that story where I would have liked him to get the money, go down to Mexico and start kicking some ass.
Like
But then-
Arnie should.
But then you get this weird last scene after all this has happened where he's like stacking money in front of some corrupt police guy in Mexico. He's stacking like $10 million because, by the way, he's the one that stole the money. So he makes his crew think that, and that's where this all just takes a weird turn.
twist.
Anyways, it wasn't very good at the end.
So
it had the potential to actually be good because it was good for about 40 minutes. And then it just goes off the deep end and just the crazy takes over and some really bad decisions happen. And why was Terrence Howard in this? And having said all that, this is as good as Sam Worthington's ever been. He was good in it. Arnie was Arnie, so he was fine. You know, he's Arnie. You don't expect a whole lot from Arnie. But it just went off it got so dumb at the end. It became a rage. And honestly, it wasn't that bad for a while. It really wasn't. But then it was. It was so bad. So yes, this was a rage.
Okay, good. I thought that we'd never get that out.
Yeah, really. Like, I don't have to watch the movie now because he just described the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you want to watch the movie?
I know, because you kind of made it sound like it might have
It
been
was
good.
okay for a while.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey, leave no loose ends.
I'm
That's the
taking
tagline
from
on the movie. So I was trying to leave no less loose ends with my.
I'm going to take something from the Mermeg's ice creamy bucket of Tubitastic.
You mean I don't get to do it this week? I do it every week.
You're not paying attention?
You know,
You say it's all Jim all the time.
Yeah,
I know,
it's
but
usually
then
me
and
all
it's
the time.
and by the way, Bryce too, because Bryce has to do a rage movie every
You know
week.
what? You know what? If you don't be careful, we're going to vote that into that you have to watch every week. Oh,
But I do, except for this week. This is the first week in like 47 weeks that I haven't had
in
to.
forever. I get to watch. I think this is a Roseanne Barr movie.
Oh, good.
Is it
She Devil?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I love Roseanne Barr.
I believe Meryl's in it too.
What?
Merle.
The greatest actor of all time,
Yeah.
Roseanne Barr, is with
Meryl
Meryl Streep.
I can't remember who the other one
And
is.
I love Ed Begley Jr. This is
There
going
you
to be
go.
the best experience of my life.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this could be.
I remember it actually not being that good. I remember I did see this.
Yeah, I think
Roseanne Barr.
I think I saw this in theaters, so I'm looking forward to it because the first time was so good.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
All right, it's got Academy Award winners in it.
Did you want me to talk more
Maybe
about
she didn't.
Sabotage?
Maybe she didn't have. No, it's okay.
No, I think
Only if it's
I
Beastie
think
Boys.
that yeah.
It was written by Skip Woods, you know.
I wish that we had Sabotage right now. But you know what? Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, our god of rage, also the nerdy photographer, for the voice of Rage or Dare. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare to see horrible and terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 and make us a rage. That's it for this week. Sabotage! Rage on.
Rage on!